Yeah, I know. I bet you do.
Hey,
yeah.
everybody!
Yeah,
Welcome to the Cafe of
Black
Knowledge.
wine.
He always got the
chain on.
We appreciate y'all tuning in today. Today's topic, as y'all can see by the title, is understanding the gay community. And we just want to let everybody know, hey, we don't know how you feel about it, but what we do ask of each one of our viewers and our subscribers is just take a listen and just understand. The only thing we want you to do is listen and just understand another point of view and how our gay community thinks throughout this United States and across the world. So just keep an open mind and just, like I said, you might not agree or you might want to turn off. We are asking you as a viewer and our subscriber to please just listen and have an open mind and an understanding.
Shit, why? I would want to listen and know what the hell we're finna talk about.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So damn judgmental.
So anyway, I just want to tell people that it's normal to wish that others was different, and it's just like it's normal that you wish yourself was different. Like it's some people that walk around and say, I sure wish I was thinner, or I sure wish I was thicker, or I sure wish I was wiser, or It's normal to think like that. But when you go to overstepping boundaries, and you go to judging and turning it into a righteous thing, like if I told you, you need to be thin because of this, or you're going to be like this if you don't get thin, it starts to overstep a boundary when you start to judge and overstep that into your perception of righteousness or injustice or badgering somebody or something like that. So we just want to talk about it, and our guest today,
we got the entrepreneur, the ultimate, the greatest man in the world. We're going to we got Miss T in the house.
And we're so glad to have you, Miss T.
My
we
pleasure.
Really are. And so we just wanted to talk about the gay community. And so let's open up with that, because have you ever felt or have you known anybody that is kind of a discriminative type of thing against you, or people give a perception of how you are?
Not really. I've been blessed.
Okay.
To be honest, all through my life.
Right.
And a lot of people, I have this boyish type dressing. I don't dress feminine like them heels and all that.
Okay.
But so they kind of, maybe they suspected a little that I might be gay.
Right.
But then when they get to know me, that's out the window.
At the window,
right. So I've been blessed where they pretty much judge me on my personality.
Right.
And I love people, so
yes.
they, even at my job right now,
right.
They know, they heard, these are new owners, they heard that I'm gay.
Right.
But they don't seem to care.
Right.
They actually, I'm talking about women, they talking about women.
Right.
So we all talking about women.
It's
they even asked me for advice.
Right,
right.
And this is because I met you some years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
And I promise I didn't know.
See?
I didn't. And it's like people just feel like once they see a certain thing that that's the way a person is.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's right.
And even if you suspect it, you need to get to know someone first.
That's true. Yeah.
Before you just have a perception of how they are, or what they are, or something.
And you know what? I've been approached by men. When I get that,
right.
And I don't flaunt what I am, but I don't play with people's feelings. If they keep on, several men, I tell them, listen, I'm gay.
Right.
And then they like, well, I can change that, but but see, you have to be true to yourself. Because if I ain't true to me, I can't be true to nobody else.
Exactly.
So that's why I don't play like
right. That. And it's another thing I wanted to touch on, because I do. We have gay members in our family, right?
Okay.
And it's not just no one.
Yeah.
We have
I think
couple
everybody
of,
do. At least have one or two.
Exactly.
They may not know it, but they do.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to admit
They don't
that,
want to admit it.
Right,
Yeah.
but they do. And see, that's why we're doing this show here today, because I don't like for people to not want to admit it. Like we said, we see it might be in our family, but we keep turning a blind eye.
Yeah.
And that's what's causing the confusion and sometimes the hate towards people, because we're turning a blind eye and we're not discussing it.
That's right.
You know, and
True.
that's what needs to be discussed. I don't feel anyone should be ashamed of if they see a family member or a friend or something who they feel or suspect is gay, and they feel ashamed. I don't feel anyone should feel ashamed about that.
Yeah.
I feel they need to address that.
Yeah.
You know,
what's wrong with those people who actually feel ashamed,
turn
or
a blind eye?
they anger to a gay person?
Well, you know what the thing is, I was blessed again coming up, you know, and everything. My mother, I think she was deeply religious. She was a religious woman.
Right.
She knew, I believe, knew when I was a little girl. I wasn't raped as a child. I come from a good home. I come from a mom, a dad. And a lot of people think that Tanya is gay because something must have happened traumatic in her life. I had a best of everything, to be honest. I just knew that I liked girls when I was a kid. Like when I was in kindergarten, I was hitting girls on the butt. So I knew, but I never told my mom, because I knew that I shouldn't have been doing that. I should have been hitting boys. But I was attracted to, I had crushes on my teachers. You know, and girls. I never had crushes on boys. But I remember when I got a little older, my mother told me, she said, "Little Tanya, remember this well in life. If you're ashamed of doing something, you shouldn't do it." I always remember that. You know, so
that shit deep.
So I never been ashamed of being me.
And you know, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I do know I have a lot of gay friends, and I have gay members in my family, but they all, and I can say for a fact, the ones in my family, you know, they haven't ever been molested, grew up with the best of love, like you said you were, and people have this perception of something must have happened to them.
Every gay person.
Like every gay person, something traumatic must have happened to them before. For them to want to be like that or turn like that, and that is so far from the truth.
That's true. Now that's just another thing. Like, you know, let's say a straight young men or women, they grow up, have the best of everything, raised great mom, great dad, and everything. But the child go out and kill somebody on purpose, or go out and rob a bank or something. We didn't raise our kids that way. That's just.
That was already.
That was right.
You know,
and to bring to your point, I have an uncle, my mother's brother. His name was well, we call him Bra. That's because that's what he wanted his nickname to be. And this was back in the 60s when I was born, 50s and 60s. He was gay. And you have to think about in the 50s how uncommon it was for
harder to come out.
It was harder to come out, and my grandparents literally opened their arms to him, and he was a drum major, and he would be in the front, you know, twirling the baton. This is in the 50s now, and he would twirl the baton, but it was all black school, of course, because we're talking about the 50s. But he was embraced then, and he said it made him be able to, you know, accept himself and others to accept him because he has some support. You know,
support's very important.
Support,
Because if a child growing up don't have support, they shun themselves off. They become introverted. That's why we have a lot young gay people have committed suicide because nobody supported them, and they judged them. They had and some. Unfortunately, some of them have nobody to talk to.
Exactly.
Even in their family.
Exactly.
You know, like, they tell them they shouldn't be this or they shouldn't be that, and I disown you, this and that.
Right.
So a lot of them don't have nothing else but suicide.
Right. And and that's another, because that's why I want to have this conversation, because it is some kids out here and teens that they will run away from home.
Yeah,
they will turn to a negative side of life because they don't have that support.
That's true.
You know, and then that's when we wind up losing them.
Yeah.
Like you said, to suicide, or lose them to
drugs,
the streets and drugs and all that.
Thinking that same
because they are trying to find an identity that everybody else that they love don't support, and just throws them away.
Yeah.
And that's something that we really do need to stop.
That's right.
You know, because you do have that. It's like parents always feel like they did something wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but they didn't.
No,
they always feel like, I must have did something wrong in raising them, or I must have did something wrong. And it's not that. Once you've had a child, and a parent has to realize, and even though I realize that with my kids, is that once you had them, it's no way you can control their personality.
True.
You could control how their life is going to be. Now, you could say what you want their life to be. Like you said, I want them to be a doctor. I want them to be a lawyer. But if they don't become that doctor or lawyer, you still have love and support for them.
Whatever they want to be.
Or whatever they want to be.
That's what I was going to say. Like, do you think that those type of parents who feel like that I did something wrong, it didn't even matter about that. Like, the ones who try to push them childs to a certain direction, it don't matter what you want to do with it now, you finna do this. Could that have a negative effect also
on somebody?
Yeah.
I think so. I think a little, because, like I said, I was raised in a great home. My mother, she guided us. My mom and daddy guided us.
Right.
They instilled the right in us.
Right.
Now, when we got older, she said, once y'all get older, leave my house. I'm hoping what I put in you, that you will carry on throughout to the world. But I can't live your life.
Right.
You know, so we could just do, you know, put the best in the child, but the child gonna do what they want to.
Yeah, and you know, I'm just straight up person. Everybody all know that. Cafe of Knowledge, the subscribe view or
Here
whatever.
we go.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Because you have some heterosexual people that will say that, oh, well, it's something for them to be like that. They got to be something wrong with them. They evil, or they twisted, or misleaded, or broken, or something like that. But then heterosexual people are all of the above.
True.
You see?
I believe that.
And we are, you know.
And
it's like everything that you say a person, oh, they broken, or they twisted, or they evil, or they sick, or they misleading each other.
Right.
But heterosexual people are the same way. So what make you so different than the gay person?
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because they always say, Tanya, you going to hell, this and that. And I said, you know what? I'm glad you're not God to judge me.
Hey.
First of all, I'm glad you're not God.
Exactly.
I said, but I believe I'm going to be judged on my heart and way I do. I love people.
That is.
It ain't no believe that is.
And I said, but I know this one lady. I said, but you judging me, but you married and sleeping with another man. Isn't it a commandment? Don't commit adultery. Ain't that one of them?
Right.
But see, then she shut up.
Right.
I said, but see, it's not me to judge you. But you are judging me because I like women.
Right.
I said, so what?
and I'm so glad you said that, because I had a conversation with a person not too long ago, and then, like I said, I'm always real, and then people be like, well, you know what? Because I always feel like this. I had that conversation where somebody was talking about the gay community. And see, when you talking about the gay community and it's negatively, you never know if that person is not gay themselves, do they have gay people in their family or in their surroundings?
True.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So that's when I speak up.
Yeah.
Even though my family member or my friends are not there, because I don't want this person who is talking negative to walk out the door and keep that same perspective. Yeah. Now, they can keep that same perspective of what they feel, but I feel like it's my job to at least tell them something. Yeah. That maybe could change their mind about it. Because I look like, the reason why I said that is because I had a situation with a friend like that I was talking to him, and they seemed to say something negative about a person who was just walking in. They didn't even know him, but I guess because they felt like the person, the guy was switching or whatever, he wanted to make a gay comment. And then I said, so what make you the judge of that person? And I feel like this, it's a lot of people in the church and a lot of people everywhere. They love to talk about. No, I just want to say
they coming.
You want to talk about the righteous and the good and all that. This is how you're supposed to live your life, and this is. But what they fail to preach is God said, "Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you."
Amen.
And if He is the judge, and people say He's a jealous God, right? And so, if you know this, why do human beings down here just decide that they're going to do His job? Because, see, it's God's job to judge.
That's right.
It's not ours.
That's right.
So, when I start judging you, that means I've told God He don't know what He doing.
That's right.
And that He needs to step aside and let me do this down here. I got this. So now,
them pastors and deacons, they coming.
No, I don't. Well, it's that they can come as long as they know what I'm saying is right, because they can't dispute this.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, who are you to take over what God has said or done? And it's some people that don't believe in God. Okay, and some people just have higher powers, or they have other people that they worship to. It doesn't matter who you worship, just as long as it's a righteous worship. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I'm saying about that is, how do you move God out the way, even if it's for a second, to judge someone?
True.
And then you say, okay.
Hold on, I got this.
Yeah. Yes, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how do you tell God that? So that's what I just want people to know, is that if you're going to preach that book, or if you're going to walk that book, or if you want to, be like this holy, righteous person, do everything that the higher power or God wants you to do. And that is, let Him do the judging.
Yep.
And you can't judge nobody.
What was that? I forgot who said it, but those without sin cast the first stone, and they all dropped the stone.
Yeah. And that's it. And so it's just, I think everybody would be able to get along better and look at people a little different, because it's just like this. It's just like a guy who can run out here and they shoot up something, or they kill something or something. Okay, I don't like what he did, but his judgment of him comes from God. I already know he gonna pay, because I already know with God, the higher power. But I cannot put that on that person. I cannot judge that person. Okay, yes, they got a little law thing that they do in the courtrooms or whatever, but it still don't take the fact that the only one that can judge is your higher power.
And you know what? When God starts whipping you,
yes,
man can't touch you.
And it's some people that might think they living a perfect life, and they judging people, and they might wind up in hell quicker than the person that they judge.
True.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I just want people to know that it don't you can't treat people terrible and less than. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And make yourself more than.
True.
You see what I'm saying? You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't treat nobody less than and think that you more than.
True.
Cause that'll never work.
Yeah.
But what I did want to ask was how do you feel about family members not supporting friends and their own family members when they find out that that impact that you see within the gay community, that when people are not accepted?
Okay, well, I think it's a sad thing, number one, because first of all, that person that is gay or lesbian, I think you should give. I really think sexuality should play no role in whether you like me or don't like me. Because who I sleep with or who I date is my business. And that's the way families should embrace their people when they find out that they're gay, that he's gay or she a lesbian. Just give them support and love. Because mentally, that person could go out, get older, go out and kill 10 people just because they had nobody to talk to. They're mad at the world, you know. But I think the biggest thing for family, even with the community, the gay community, is to support and love one another. You know, just don't be so quick to judge. Because somebody could tell me that they killed or stole something. I'm not going to judge you. I want to get to know you. That might have been in your past, but I want to know you because I just met you. You know, so I think supporting and loving and caring. Like, I have a child that I know that I can look at kids and pretty much tell because I was one of them. You know, when I was that young. I have a child that, as a matter of fact, I have a child that I know he's going to be gay. He's gay. He's quiet. He's to himself. But I told him, I said, you know what? I didn't tell him that I know because, you know, he's young. I said, just remember that whatever you go through, whatever you want to talk about, I don't care what it is. I'm here to listen. I'm never going to judge my baby. I love you. And I'm going to always love you. You understand me? He said, I do. I understand you. And I done dated women in the past that
and I know that hit a good feeling inside.
So this child can always come to me.
He know he or she knows that
they
can always come to
me. So I you know, because I've been there. But luckily I had supportive parents. You know, my mother had like I said, she knew. But I never said that. Because, see, I come from a deeply religious family, and my mom was deeply religious. And I wasn't until I was, like, early 20s. And I never forget this. I was sitting at the table. I wish my brother was here. He would tell me. I was sitting here. My mother was sitting over there. My other brother was standing. And my other brother that just sits and observes everything. He said, sis, you gay, aren't you?
Just straight like that.
Wow.
And I'm up here looking at my whole thing.
And the whole family was around.
Well, my mother, this woman that I look up to, that you know, she helps. She's appealing the community, help people out. And I'm up here looking, this boy, I should knock his head off. That's what I'm thinking. You know, so he said, sis, you gay, aren't you? I said, this is a fine time for him to tell me.
Ask me in front of
I said, I didn't. I kind of hesitated. I turned red. You know, I was like, well, my mom's right across the table from me, so how this gonna go? So he said, sis, I asked you about 2 or 3 times. You gay, aren't you? I said, why you say that? He said, these guys keep asking, what's Tanya doing? Give her my number, these are good guys, good jobs, got money, got businesses. I give them you the numbers. You ain't called one of them. I said, So my other brother standing there, he said, you know what? I don't care if you're crooked or straight. He always made a joke. Right. He said, you're my sister and I'm going to love you.
Right.
Yeah.
Then my mother was drinking coffee. She put her coffee down. She said, baby, let me tell you something. I don't care. Well, it's good that my brother kind of opened it up. Because my mom knew, but I never told her. I never even brought women around her.
Right.
So she said, let me tell you something. I don't care if you bring black, white, green, blue, man, woman, home to me, to me. I'm going to love you the same because you're my child. And you're going to always be mine.
Wow.
So when she said, that's when she told me, she said, if you're ashamed of doing something.
Oh, that's what led to it.
You shouldn't do it.
Okay.
Right. Always remember that.
Right.
And at that,
I
was free.
See, that's because you do more damage than good.
Yeah.
You try to,
but see, she knew it because I was such a tomboy.
Right.
I played sports. I did a lot. I was a tomboy, but she never asked me.
Right.
And I never told her.
Right.
I think some other family members, my brothers, that one that asked me, I think he knew it too. But they never asked me then. So I never told them.
Right.
But when my brother asked and my mother brought it out like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like a free.
And then it was just like, it was lifted. A burden was lifted. So I had support. I've always had my mother's support. And she always knew. But she never, she never said, Tanya, you got it. She just let me live my life. Yeah. So.
And see, that's what I say, because I have a friend also, a male friend that his daughter is gay, but he accepted as the father more than the mom did.
Yeah.
And a lot of it have to do with how they think the church gonna look at it, because the mother, it was into the church and things like that and whatever, and it's more of a perceptive of the mom feeling like, oh, I wonder how everybody gonna look at me, or I feel embarrassed, what the church gonna say, or whatever. So therefore, when they so worried about what other people's gonna say, they neglect the own child because they don't want to open up the idea or have an open mind of what it is, and they automatically is defensive that they've done something wrong or they don't agree with it or whatever. And like we said at the beginning, we're not saying that you have to agree with it, but understand it.
Yes.
Just understand it. And don't be so cruel on how you treat people.
Yeah.
Just because it kills me that people can protest about, I don't want gays to get married. And, I don't feel they should be working in the same environment as I'm working in. And they could protest and do all these things and not looking at that. You are really telling someone what they can't do, but then you do it all the time. It's just like you say that it's seen everywhere, however you want to put it. Everybody has done something or something, but why is it that you could tell a person who they could be with, when they could be with them, who they should not? It's some that feel like they shouldn't raise kids. What the... It's gay community can give just as much love as a heterosexual couple can. And I've seen that where they give more love to kids than a heterosexual couple do. And
you know what? If the heterosexual people that got kids instead of doing everything so right, we wouldn't have these orphanages. We wouldn't have these foster homes. So gay people have faults, heterosexuals have faults.
Right.
It's the same. Now how would a black woman or a black man, you want to be judged for your qualities when you go and look for a job.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now let's say there's a white person sitting there behind the desk and judge you on your color. You haven't even opened your mouth and gave your qualifications.
Right.
So that's the same as looking at a gay person and judging them because they're gay, and you won't even let me open my mouth. You don't know my qualifications.
Exactly.
You don't know me.
Exactly.
So that's the same thing as a black man or woman sitting there and they have a white person looking at, oh, they black, so they ain't gonna be able to do this job, or vice versa.
Exactly.
A white person sitting there and a black person judging it, oh, he white, he ain't gonna be able to do the job.
Exactly.
So see, it's the same thing. You got to give a person a chance,
exactly,
regardless,
exactly,
what they are.
Right.
You know,
and I'm so
ain't bullshit.
yeah, but I'm so glad because that's what we
know.
need to. We just trying to get an understanding because it's just so many people out here, or they are very confused, and they're treating the gay community as if they a separate part of life.
Yeah.
You know, and that heterosexual life are more important than the gay community life. And that's not so. Everybody is equal. But because everybody wants to do God's job and judge people, they blindside themselves. Yeah. Instead, that's when I can't understand. That's when people are ready to judge people, that's when they throw the Bible away. Yeah. And then they start doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And then when they want things to go right in their life, they pick the Bible back up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's something that we need to start. If you are going, that's just like if you go into a church, it's some gay people that say they have been pushed out of the church, right, because of their sexuality. Yeah. Well, how can a church push a gay person out when they shouldn't be judging that person anyway?
And you know what? What they forget, one important thing. Jesus walked among the whores, the prostitutes, the thieves. He walked. He sat with them.
Right. Yeah.
And he was perfect.
Yeah.
So us, born in sin and less perfect, how can we, oh, you're not good enough to come to my church. But God himself sat there and talked with the thieves, the whores, the prostitutes, all those type of people.
You're right.
You know?
You're right. And you're right. And see, that's what gets me because it's so many people that say, I'm going to, it's people in the church, you know, oh, you know, that's the devil work, or let me try to rebuke that out of you, and let me try to, what do you, it's like, okay, I don't understand how you are still, you don't have to agree with, but you cannot judge. You cannot tell that person that they can't be in the church, or, you know, oh, that's the sin way of life. If it is a sin way of life, if it is a life that some people don't agree with, that still don't mean you treat them any differently.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That don't mean you treat them any differently. You supposed, if you really have that righteous in you, you're going to treat that person with respect, regardless of their race, their sexuality, their nationality. It doesn't matter. You still have to show that person respect. And that's where I say, when you say that, you know, when people say, well, I'm blessed, I really feel comfortable with saying I'm blessed and my family is blessed. You know why? Because we never touched and stepped on the toes of the higher power. Because now I might step on the toes of somebody that pissed me off, you know, but I know not to step. When it comes to judging someone, a life is very important. Every life is very important. So when you start tampering with their way of living, their way of income, their way of how they gain support for themselves or earn support for themselves, when you start tampering with people's life in general, that's when you're dropping the ball on that Bible or that high power book. You see? Because now you're stopping the process of someone else, and that's not our job to do.
That's right.
That's only God's job to do. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So that's why I said, out here in the gay community, you have so many people that's they're being murdered.
Yeah.
They're being taunted.
Yeah.
You know,
all that.
they're being everything.
Yeah.
They're being treated badly.
Yeah.
And then you have people out here, you know, stop Asian hate, stop black hate, or stop this, but let's stop the gay hate.
Yeah. Let's just stop
You know,
hate.
let's just stop hate.
You know.
You know,
Yeah.
and you're right. Let's just stop hate. But it takes a community to change a community.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And even if you just think a little bit, just open your mind a little bit and have an understanding. Like, okay, now I know, I might not agree with them, and I might not like what they do. I might not like their lifestyle, but I'm gonna leave them alone.
Yes.
I'm not gonna intrude or step over boundaries.
And that's respect.
And that's respect. And that's respect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna make them. I'm not gonna call them names.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
make
make
them feel uncomfortable.
I'm not gonna make them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Hey, look here.
Yeah.
It kills me, like, how you judge somebody too when you don't even know them.
That's right.
You know, everything that we do, whether you're gay, heterosexual, whatever. Whatever we do in our own life don't affect the next person.
That's right.
So why are you worried about it?
That's right.
Why is the next person worried about it when it doesn't even affect them?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's just like my cousin. It don't matter if the family had a turned on her and been negative to her or whatever to her, it's still what she do don't affect us.
That's right.
So why are we even badgering her?
Stressing over it.
Yeah, why are we stressing over it?
her.
Why are we treating her badly over it when it doesn't even affect her?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Because I always tell people, what you smoke don't make me choke.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
So that's what I'm saying.
Hey, I'm gonna use that.
I'm saying, so I'm saying it's like, okay, if that's how that person gonna be, that still don't stop your lights from being on in the house.
Yeah.
That still don't stop the car you're driving in.
Yeah.
That still don't stop your lifestyle.
That's right.
So what stops your lifestyle is when you stop your lifestyle and jump in somebody else's lifestyle.
Yeah. That's
you
true.
see what I'm saying? That's what stops your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When you jumping in somebody else's lifestyle.
True.
No. Hang in to yours.
Yeah.
And the perfect thing to do is, even if you disagree with it or you
mind your business.
I just don't want to. I know y'all don't understand it or whatever, but I do want to open people's eyes up, because there's some people that they probably around someone right now who might be gay.
Yeah.
You know,
And sometimes you might not even know it.
right.
Because a lot of gay people are scared to come out too. There's still some that's scared to come out.
Right.
They ain't openly like me.
Right.
And because they don't know what their mom, their dad, their brother, their family, their friends gonna say. But they listening.
Right.
You know, they're listening,
Right.
and they might be scared. Maybe we said something today that might help them to come out.
Very
Right.
understandable and very
You know?
true. But if you a grown ass man, if you've been married for 30 years and you got 6 kids, I know why the hell you scared to come out. So you waited too goddamn long. But I understand, but I'm just
But
saying,
but that's why it's
Yeah.
because there's so much negativity that they
Yeah.
see they scared to.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we have to stop, because it's just like a man, and it's some people in the church and outside the church and everywhere else that they have the man that's cheating on the woman and the woman cheating on the man, and they doing all that, right?
Yeah.
But no, you don't have that same impact of judgment on them as you do in the gay community.
And that's wrong too. You know,
exactly.
that's wrong too.
That's wrong too. And so it seems like the heterosexual world is like, we are allowed to do this. Even though it's bad. We are allowed to sin, but y'all are not.
That's right. Y'all sin is worse than our sin.
Right. You know,
that's what they
and
think.
that's what they do.
But
You see
I
what
was
I'm
raised
saying?
sin.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what I was raised.
And you just have some people, I feel, have a problem most people who have a problem with the gay community are people who really wasn't able to define themselves.
Yeah, sense of identity.
A sense of identity.
And you know
they
what?
never got a chance to find that for themselves.
And you know what? That's true. Now, I have dated several women. They've been married. They said they always knew they liked women. Even men, I always knew they liked men. But they put those feelings aside because their family wouldn't support that. Exactly. So guess what? They got older. They married.
That's what
had
I'm saying.
2, 3, 4 kids, and guess what? The marriage didn't work out because that's not what she wanted. Then they said, "Well, I love you. I love my children, but I don't want to be with a woman.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to be with a man."
Right.
So I know about 4 or 5 people right now that they try to live for their family and realize they was miserable in that marriage, had kids. Now they're divorced.
Right. And see,
now he got a man, she got a woman.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's what
and that's a lot of that's happening.
Right. And I do have a friend too, you know, he was, I think 16, 17. He said he knew young. Yeah. Nothing ever happened to him, like you said.
It be like that, yeah.
And he knew young, but he was hiding it. And now he starts dating women because he's trying to trick basically his family because he know they don't approve of it. That's the only relationship they approve of, a man or a woman, right?
Yeah.
So he then starts dating the woman and he gets her pregnant. Yeah. Okay? And now she has a baby. His family is happy because that's the lifestyle they wants to see. Yeah. But he said he was so miserable because that's not what he was. Yeah. Right? And so after 2 kids later with this woman, he said he finally had to come truthful to himself, to his family, and to her. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, look at by the family not being supportive of him, how it winds up. He said it seems like because you hiding, you wind up hurting somebody else in the process because now she got 2 kids by someone she probably really wants to be with, but he just can't. But he was doing it to try to satisfy his family.
So, in other words, he done hurt this woman that's probably in love with him,
right?
And his kids because he's separated from mama,
right?
So
but he said, but now it's like him and her, the baby mamas, are like the best of friends. You know?
They understand
and they understand it because and it was crazy because his wife said, "I felt it." Yeah. But then I said, nah. That's what he said. She told him, like, I felt it, but then I said, nah. You know what I'm saying? But then it was.
And you know what? When I used to go to the clubs here in Mobile, I would see different guys, and I see guys in the club with a wedding ring on. And you know what? I would get to talking, and they said, well, I'm married. I said, oh, because of the wedding ring. I thought in a gay club, I thought he was here with his husband or something.
Right.
And I met about 4 or 5 guys like, no, I have a wife. And I have kids. I said, well, so you're just supporting somebody here in the club because, straight people go to a gay club for the shows.
They do because I
go for the show.
I love to go to drag
if
shows.
A woman approach y'all, you got to say, baby, I don't swing that way. But they go for the show.
Right.
I had straight friends that did, so I'm just thinking for the show. Right. He said, no, I need a man every now and then. I said, I tell you what, have you told your wife that you need a man every now and then? Because you're living a lie. Right. I mean, he said, me and him had a long conversation. I think his name was Craig. He said, I love being with a man. I got 5 kids, but I love, and I love my wife, but I said, I think you should go home and be honest. Right. Honesty is the best policy.
Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah. So I don't never know how that happens.
It's a lot of hurt that goes along with it as well. And that's why I said we did this show today because me and Jay also talked about this topic, but we are very true to everything we do. Yeah. And what we said was we cannot really talk on the gay topic. Now we talk about the boyfriend cheating on the girlfriend cheating on. We talk about all that. But what me and him came to a decision on, that's one topic we really can't talk on because we're not in the gay community. And we understand where they're coming from, but we need that perspective from someone who is inside.
From a vet.
That, you know what I'm saying?
From a vet.
Yeah, and that's why we wanted to get that understanding. And one more thing before we go, y'all, I do want to touch on, what do you think about when a kid is young, like probably 12, 13, 14 years old, they coming out, like parents are okay about the, you know, like how they got the Gabrielle Union and
they going to balls together.
Yeah,
now.
They go to balls.
My
and
day
stuff
we
like
didn't do that,
but what do you think about the kid at a 12, 13 years old just turning into the transsexual way? Do you think, because I've had some people that say, well, when they transform themselves at a 12 and 13-year-old age, that they could get older and not want and regret it. So what do you think about that for a parent who is dealing with that?
Let's say, for instance, if one of my kids, my child that I know that's gonna be like that, came and wanted at that age,
right?
You know, I would listen, but I prefer him or her to wait.
Right. Okay.
I really, you know, but you know, this is what I would tell him or her. I would say, well, you know what, if you want to turn into a girl, you know, physically, maybe I want you to at least give it some time. You only 12 or 13.
Right.
At least wait until you 18, 19, 20.
Right.
Where you could live, or maybe 21, where you have lived life a little bit more.
Right.
Because at the age of 12, I think he's like in the 6th, 7th grade. And either, you know, I think they're like in the middle school.
Right.
And I would at least want him to get, or her to get a little older.
Right.
Because what we do sometimes when we're in elementary and middle school, you know, we do little dumb things.
Right.
You know, when I was like in elementary school, I used to, in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, I used to dip my bread into coffee and eat the bread. Now to me, that sounds so nasty.
Right.
And that sounds nasty when I was in high school. Like, I did that.
Yeah.
So, and I was like in the 9th grade, and I thought back on that, and I said, I did that. So that's what I'm saying. I want my child to be a little older because we think differently. You know, we think, you know, I don't want to agree with all this money and do this and turn her into a guy or him into a girl, and then when he in the they in the 10th or 11th, 12th grade, Mama, I made a mistake.
Right.
I want
and then it's
you have to, and it's hard to reverse back.
Right.
So I really think that what we do when we young like that in the 5th and 6th grade, let them mature, let them become a young adult to make that decision. They can still be gay.
Be gay, right?
I don't have a problem with that.
The transition.
But I want you to make sure you're 100% sure before you get everything physically changed. You know. So,
because I like the thing you said, it's hard to turn back.
It is hard to turn back.
Right.
And so that's why I'd rather my child or any child to be a little older. Because what we do, like I said, when we're in elementary and middle school, we don't do that when we
exactly
high school or college, you know. So it's all about maturity. But they can still be gay. You know, he can still be 12, 13 gay and be that. I'm good with that. But when we talking about physically, I need for him or her to be a little bit more mature.
Right. Okay. Well, and that's good. And so, one more question. I know I said, in our gay community that we have in our city, how would you rate that? Is it okay, or do you think it's just treated badly? Do you get? Or y'all feel like the people, the majority of them treat us equal?
But you know what? Like I said, I'm not from here originally.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, Southern people to me is they great anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They always find the good in everything.
Right.
Where I'm from, they had a little attitude. When I came down here, I was just shocked. People waved at me, and I don't even know them.
Right.
You know, so I'm coming from a whole city where they don't know you, they don't speak.
Right. That's the way it is in New York.
So
too.
I would say people down here rate the gay community. I say okay.
Okay.
It's like a little, maybe okay, maybe a little under okay, because like I said, we still got a lot of they call them down low brothers, down low sisters, and they scared to come out, you know, so they're still not that comfortable with coming out, you know. But there's, when I moved down here, I said, dang, Mobile, Alabama. I said, it's a little country place. They probably don't have no gay people at all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
But guess what?
Yeah.
They have a lot of gay people.
Yeah.
So, you know, they still need to work on some things here. And every city do.
Right. And then with them being a Mardi Gras city.
Yeah.
And then you have New Orleans right there with them. You know, the two cities are right together. And they both are known for Mardi Gras. That brings a lot of different personalities, and it opens up a lot of more open minds, because Mardi Gras and any party city that you go to have a more kind of a understanding, open-minded, and you don't really worry about the hate being so deep. You know, because it's just a different culture. So that's what I want to talk about. But that's what I want. But we want to work on that around every community throughout the United States. If y'all don't have my email, if anybody in the gay community would love to come on the show and let's talk and discuss and try to give an open mind. Now, like I said, we are not forcing this on anyone, but we do want everyone to at least have an open mind and an understanding of how they feel and how they people are perceiving them, and how they want people to, you know, how they perceive others. And what we want is everybody to just treat everybody the same, not judge, and not make it something to where it's messing with the careers and the life and the death. You know, people, you know, they killing people over just little things. So we just want to make it to where people have a better understanding. Because I just feel like if everybody have a better understanding, it'll be a lot better.
True.
And it'll be a lot better for people to come out, because being closed up, people have to understand that there's some women and men out here that are messing with the same sex. But they're not telling their partners.
That's a lot of that going on.
It's a lot of that going on. And it's a lot of us heterosexuals think we got it going on, but we have our partner is messing around with that the same sex partner. And the only way that we can kind of stop that and get an open mind that people don't have to hide is have an understanding and talk about it.
That's right.
And that's all we want to do.
Communication is the best thing.
It's the best thing. So anything else you have to say?
No, it's been a pleasure, though.
It's been a pleasure. We are so glad you came on. And like we said, we have been working on this for a couple of months now.
Okay.
You know, trying to, you know, get a guest and talk to him and everything, and get him on the show and talk about the gay community.
Yeah, you know, Miss T be all over in Afghanistan, Aruba, taking trips to Greece and stuff, hanging with Oprah. And
I love Greece when I went there, you know.
It's hard to catch
I love Greece.
Yeah, so anyway, so thank y'all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget, email us. Our email address is cafeofknowledge88@gmail.com. If you have a subject or you're interested in being on the show, just give us an email and we'll schedule everything and we'll get back to you. That's all we have to say. Gain knowledge to prevent blockage. And y'all all know what that means. The more y'all know, the harder it is to block anybody to block y'all from y'all goals and success. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Y'all have a nice one, and thank you so
too,
much.
I appreciate it.
We appreciate it so much. Okay.
Y'all do know that the gays and the LGBT runs the media and the entertainment world, right?
You so
I'm just